before we really get into that, though, I want to ask you something that I always ask, just so I can get a better feel and the audience can get a better feel for you. As we go
Mhm.
through this day, you're going to be sharing with us your skills, your set, your solutions. But before we get there, I'd like to ask you, what is it about you or your company that most people don't know that maybe they should know about? Is there one, two things? Like for me, it was like I used to be a scratch golfer. I used to play pretty good golf. What about you? Is there anything like that?
Um, well, you said that's interesting. You said that you used to play scratch golf. I have been, I come from what I'd say multi-talented or multi-master of none, would you say do a lot
Yeah.
of things, but not necessarily master of any.
Yeah, yeah.
I have multiple interests, and what I will say they all surround is working with people. I've always been one of those, trying to, find ways that we can communicate. Communication is a big part of that. But always in that, no matter what I'm doing, I'm always looking at ways of pulling people together, working together. We have a background where as a company, that's what we're all about. We're all about helping people get along in the workplace. As an individual, I'm always interested in trying new things. In fact, this year I'm going to be looking at comedy. I have a background in theater, and
Oh,
I am now taking a course in comedy. It's kind of like, when you're in conversation, you have funny remarks and things, but a lot of things, that come into place. And I think laughter, sometimes when we don't take ourselves so seriously, we can kind of get through and get past some of the things that bring about conflict. And so that's one of the reasons, in terms of looking at that, how do we lighten up things? How do we start to, get away from taking ourselves as serious and think about the stories that we tell ourselves, because that's a big part of it.
yes,
What are the
yes.
stories we tell ourselves? And I find that that's a big part of conflict.
Well, that's a double-edged sword, though, isn't it? Because when we take ourselves too seriously, that's when we might be hurting the fellow employee or the employer that wants to use us, or we might be hurting that area. But then we take ourselves too seriously. Also, we hurt our own perceptions of ourselves, and we're not the employee or the employer that we want to be. You're in
Yeah,
a
you're
difficult
absolutely
area.
right.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, no, no. I'm sorry. I was just agreeing with you.